The social media giant Meta has announced that it will be placing strict limits on what teenagers can do on its photo sharing app Instagram. Platforms such as Instagram have been accused of not effectively protecting children from harmful content. The site allows 13-year-olds and above to join up. But after the new privacy changes, young users will be put into private teen accounts, as set out in today's video message.
Introducing Instagram teen accounts. Automatic protections for teens, with built-in limits for who can contact them and the content they can see, helping teens safely connect to the people and things that matter most. Plus, teens under 16 require parental approval to change safety settings. New Instagram teen accounts. Automatic protections for who can contact them and the content they can see.
We assess the significance of the changes to Instagram with the social media expert Professor Sarahg Pedersob from Robery Gordon University. Professor Pedersob, what are the main changes there? What are the features of these teen accounts?
Okay, so if a teenager joins Instagram from now on, they're going to have a teen account. That's going to mean, for example, that after an hour on the account, somebody's going to come up and suggest that they go and do something else. They're not going to be able to have any notifications during night time, so they can have a good night's sleep. And their parents are going to be able to see who they're communicating with, but not what they're actually saying to those people.
And what's motivated these changes?
Well, if you listen to Meta, they say it's because of concerned parents. But to be quite honest, it's very clearly a response to governments throughout the world starting to legislate against these kinds of social media giants. So we have the Online Safety Act that's coming into force in the UK next year. We have something similar in America. In Australia, they're actually talking about banning teens from social media altogether. So you can see that Meta has started to think, right, we have to do something. We have to clean up our own house before we're forced to do it by this legislation. And
is Instagram the principal social media for people of that age, or others like TikTok and other ones that they might use? Are they likely to follow suit?
It's quite probable, yes, because although teens do use Instagram, you're right, they use TikTok, they use WhatsApp, and teens are a mobile group. They have already migrated away from Facebook. You don't find a teen on Facebook anymore. So, you know, that is one of the things when Nick Clegg was introducing this today. He said, we are aware we may lose teens, but he said, we want to be seen to be responding to parental concerns. So, yeah, I think that other social media giants are going to have to do something similar.
There are probably few people more technically savvy than young teenagers. Are they not just going to be able to find workarounds if they so wish?
Yes, they are. And that's why it's really important that parents just don't sit back and go, oh, well, it's okay, Meta's now organising this. This has to be something which is, work together by all the stakeholders. We have to have educators, we have to have the government, we have to have the social media giants, we have to have parents, and most crucially, we actually have to have young people all working together to make sure that the risk is contained and that teenagers learn how to use social media with guidance. We don't just put a teen in a car at the age of 17 without driving lessons. We need to also do that when we're talking about social media.
But of course, social media is cross borders, cross continents. How easy will it be to do that?
It's not going to be easy. That's why it's not been done before. But it does has to happen. And really, the governments are now waking up to this. They're starting to threaten. And that's why you've got big companies like Meta now saying, OK, we're going to try and do something.
So how do you see the others following suit? What will they do? Because they don't all operate the same way.
They don't, but there's going to be a similar approach looking at ensuring that people who are making use of their sites, if they are underage, that there are certain controls, there are certain things they can't access, and there's going to be an introduction of this kind of suggesting you go and do something else, suggesting you turn off, suggesting you don't have it on overnight. To a certain extent, these can only be suggestions. We're talking about risk management. Australia is talking about a blanket ban, which basically is going to criminalise an enormous amount of teenagers. We can't do that. We have to work with them to help them, engage with the digital landscape safely.
And will teenagers be receptive to this, or might they find that this is interfering in their world, as it were?
Yeah, no, there's going to be teenagers who don't want to engage with it. There's going to be teenagers who leave Instagram and go somewhere else, and that's going to be a problem. And that's why this is not just one thing that we do and then we don't do anything else. We have to continue to engage with them in school, at home, over the dinner table. We have to have these conversations all the time to make sure that they are using social media safely.
So we're seeing that Instagram have done this. You've suggested what further steps might be taken. How truthfully confident are you that that will happen?
I think it's going to happen, not necessarily because of parental concerns, but because there's more legislation being brought in now by governments throughout the world. And if the media giants don't do it themselves, then they're going to find that they've got these suggested bans. And that's going to harm their bottom line. And that, frankly, is why they're going to do this.
Professor Pedersob, thanks for joining us in Scotland tonight.